to Conversations with Kendell and Lenice. Remember, every Friday from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. We're running a little bit behind today, so I thank you guys for your patience. Let's see. I just got back from Philly, maybe about 2 hours ago. I had to go for training. As you guys know, I'm a life coach and I'm a financial coach, and there's different certifications we have to continuously get. So I'm going to try to take my coach hat off. Well, I don't have to because coaching is about asking questions, and so I guess I could keep that hat on. I think it's a part of me anyway. But I hope everyone had an amazing week. Did you guys have a good week?
Definitely.
You have a good week?
Yes.
Okay, you looking like, I'm like, I don't know, a little shaky. All right, long. It's always a long week. Today seemed extra long. I went to Philly and people were saying, oh, well, you had a vacation. You said that. Right. And I'm like, no, I work harder away at training than I think I do at work because it's at work I set my own schedule. But, yeah, it wasn't like that today. But I'm back. All right, today's show is about basketball, for those of you that saw the advertisement. I just want to read a little thing. Okay, so we're talking about basketball on all levels, high school, AAU, NBA, playing overseas. College. What's that called again? Basketball. College. How did I forget college? And we were just talking about that, right? College, you know, some people might just skip too, and right. That's how it is in basketball. So these men eat, breathe, and sleep basketball. Like we were just sitting here talking about it. When I first met you, yep. I'll introduce him in a minute. That's all you were talking about. When I met you, like you were chilled, and then when you start talking about basketball, your face lit up. Look, he's smiling now, yeah. So that's a good thing. How awesome is it that you can do something that you love? And that's the beautiful thing. And that's what this show is about, doing things that you love, sharing your stories, sharing your goals, your dreams, all of that good stuff. So sitting to the left of me, my close left, is Doug Martin, Coach Doug Martin, and Coach Anthony Fitzgerald. Do you go by Coach Doug?
I go by Coach Doug.
Okay, and Coach Fitz. Yeah. Okay, so today they're going to talk about basketball. Both of these gentlemen are AAU coaches. They work with young people. Mm-hmm. Just guys?
Yeah. Our program at Team Takeover, we have a girls program too.
Okay. And then make sure you talk to the mic. And then you...
we just have boys right now.
Always boys.
Yes.
So both of them are AAU coaches, season over?
Yep.
Back to high school for me.
Okay. Well, I'm welcoming these guys to the show. Welcome, and I thank you guys for coming on Conversations today. So like you were just saying, you are a high school basketball coach, too. For Poly, those of you in the Baltimore area, you want to tell people about that program?
Baltimore Polytechnic Institute, located on West Cold Spring Lane. We've been there about 5 years. Me and the head coach, Coach Sam Brand. We just had 4 guys commit to college this year.
That's awesome.
4 athletic scholarships,
That's
Division
awesome.
1, Division 2, and a couple guys at Division 3. But they got academic money because Poly is known for academic.
That's excellent. So they're smart and they can ball.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Yeah,
that's good. So, Doug, what are you doing? I know it's a lot.
Yeah, well, I'm Team Takeover year-round. Mm-hmm. And part of, besides coaching a 16 and under team, we put on about 8 to 10 events every year of high school showcases, and then we're doing some girl stuff and some middle school stuff. So I'm always planning and working and trying to get to the next situation.
Okay,
process.
Well, you guys know, like if parents aren't watching live, they'll watch the replay, and you know parents are gonna be hitting y'all up, right? My boy can ball. I know you guys get that all the time. How can my child be? And we'll tell the people towards the end how your children can be a part of what these guys are doing, because I just really think it's awesome that you guys are all about kids, helping kids. Like, that's beautiful to me, because some of the kids probably don't even have, or may not have, I should say, male role models in their life.
Yeah, okay. It's a
half and half.
Yeah, it's a good percentage that don't. Yeah. But for us in our program, we definitely preach that takes a village. So much so, you know, we have great coaches, great mentors, great families that, you know, kids will stay weekends with other parents and stuff like that. And it's definitely a village for us to.
Because even with, like what Coach Doug said, even with a parent there, sometimes a kid will not open up to a parent what they might talk to us about.
I can understand that.
Like they might relate, you know, I'm a little young. So
yeah.
I can understand where they're coming from. Their dad might be like, I'm not trying to hear that.
Right.
But it's good for a kid to be, you know, to build a relationship because we're not just coaches, we're mentors. You know, you got to help kids through certain situations nowadays. It's tough out here.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough in these streets. It really is. And I had an opportunity to see your team last summer. This time last year. Well, a little earlier than this.
July. It was still July.
July last year. Yep. And it's for real.
It is.
Like you guys, I mean, I was watching your team, but it's so many different teams playing at the same time. And I did see a lot of families, a lot of younger kids, and it's all day. That's how you guys, the tournaments are.
And it's for the families, they see it as an opportunity that, you know, a 4-year college scholarship is $180,000 to $250,000, and I don't know if any
easy.
I don't. None of my parents have that much money in the bank that they can just pay.
I don't have that.
So it is serious business for these parents to, you know, support their kid, but also make sure that the hours driving to a gym, paying for a trainer, weight training, all that stuff, you know, kind of.
Because even though basketball season is a certain time, if you're a ball player, it's all year. You're conditioning and training all year.
Yeah, 365 days.
So I talked about you guys being AAU coaches, and I know what that is, but could you tell people that don't even know what the AAU league is?
Well, I think Fitz and I both.
You grandfathered in, that's why he let you.
7 years, 8 years.
I learned a little bit from something.
Right.
You know, Fitz and I both aren't. We don't play traditional AAU events anymore, which is the Amateur Athletic Union. So Nike has their own league now, and it goes from 15 and actually it went 14 and under this year. To 17 and under EYBL. So we play. So
17 and under. So what's the under? Like how low the age? How young?
Well, on our 17s, we had 3 16-year-olds playing on the team.
Okay.
So, and the age, I shouldn't say the age. It's more grade.
Okay.
It's more grade based now. So it's 11th rising seniors.
Okay.
The summer before. So in our league, Nike sets the schedule. Nike sets the events, Nike sets the tournaments, and then we have luxury to go to some ancillary things that we can do, but the meat and potatoes of our schedule is set by Nike.
Okay, and you're part of that also.
I'm not just high school, but I coach Team Mello, which is Carmelo Anthony's from the New York Knicks. His AAU program provides the funding for us to do, like Coach Doug said, the Nike events. It's like higher level basketball. Like you walk out there if you want with your mom and pop's teams, it's not going to be
right.
Bryce.
It's not a game. It's a game, but it's not a game. Okay.
I mean, what we do is we provide the kids with an opportunity that a lot of kids can't say that they have.
Yeah.
Even myself growing up, I didn't have this opportunity.
Yeah.
Of playing against.
You're from Baltimore.
Baltimore.
You're from PG, DC.
So you know, it's like a feud between us too, but it's a good feud that it promotes kids competing at a high level that a lot of people can't say that they did.
Yeah.
Like a lot of kids go out here and think, oh, I can just go out here and play on any team. I can do this, but you have to be prepared for what this is offering.
Yeah.
Like we was in Vegas it's called the 8 event. It's sponsored by all.
Because when I saw you were getting ready to go to Vegas.
Right, I was ready to leave for Vegas for the 8. And it's sponsored by Chris Paul, which he has his own AAU team. He had the #1 player in the country on his team. Carmelo Anthony had his team. Team Takeover had theirs. That was like Victor Oladipo and a couple other guys that are pros. And they bring this event together. And, I mean, you walk in the gym, you got your Coach K's, which is Mike Krzyzewski from Duke, Roy Williams, Calipari from Kentucky. These are the best of the best in the country coming to this one event to see what's being offered.
Wow. That's awesome because it affords some of these children to come out of their state. They come out of their city. They get to see the world, and they don't even have to pay for it. They're playing.
Right.
So I think that's That's amazing. And I know when I was talking to you, I asked because it's important. I know you have NBA players involved with your team, and they, you know, give of their time and their money to help the kids. But I know when you said that you had Carmelo Anthony's team, or your team was Carmelo Anthony's, however, I don't know how to word it. And I asked, do you just have his name, or is he doing something? Because I'll just tell you this, for forever and ever and ever, amen. That's why I like your shirt. I've been a New York Knicks fan, like forever. I used to be heavily into college. I used to love Syracuse, Georgetown, Michigan. I already told you how old I am. So back then, when, you know, all the old schools were playing, I went to my first NBA game was 76ers game, because I grew up in South Jersey when I was young. My brother, like, is obsessed with basketball, even still to this day, trying to play, and his knees and all of that. My brother, he's my baby brother, 7 years younger than me, but he was so good. Like, he used to play with Kobe on the, you know, in the street, and that, you know, he was good. But it's a lot of good players out there, and I know you see a lot of good players. How do you know how to pick them? Like, when you see them, do you like, okay, this one, they're gonna go far?
I think for, you know, you, from the experience of playing, and also from the experience of, you know, like I said, 8 long years for me, so it's
I'm coaching AAU. Oh, that is a long time.
So, which is like 25 in human years,
right?
You know, and, you know, coaching thousands of games and watching thousands of games, you do have that. You know, I think we all are blessed with that knack of seeing that something special out of
yeah.
And then you know, you see a lot of good kids all summer, a lot of good kids, but you know, you rarely come across a kid where you can look and say,
because you don't know, because somebody could be not so good, and then they
somebody could stop growing.
Right. Oh yeah.
You know,
that's a big one.
Yeah, one
and
injury
that's where that student part come in. That one injury could cause.
Yeah, definitely.
Right.
Can never get back.
And that's what these young people have to know. Like, you can be all of that. You can be the best baller that you know at 13. But then what happens at 15 if something happens? You're in a car accident, you have an accident, just health-wise, something goes wrong, then what do you do? You know? It's so funny. Well, people say our favorite Sanaa Lathan, so my next question, I'm laughing when I say it. Anybody ever seen Brown Sugar? The movie Brown Sugar? Oh, I know. And you know what? I'm not surprised, because there's a little basketball in there, though. You got to watch it. There's a small segment of basketball.
Okay.
Well, then y'all won't get my question, but the people that watch Brown Sugar, you know she asked the question, when did you fall in love with hip-hop? So I'm asking the question, when did you fall in love with basketball? When did your love affair start with basketball?
I want to say I was probably in 9th grade.
Okay.
You know, growing
back,
up.
1970.
No.
So, I'm just joking. I'm just playing.
Late 80s.
No, look, I was in the 8th grade when you were in the 9th, so I can't even.
But, you know, growing up, you know, my mom made me play in the Police Boys and Girls Club. So,
okay, PAL. I was a PAL cheerleader.
So it's... So it's, you know, football.
You didn't care. I see. You didn't really care. Okay.
I didn't care about girls like that. It was football in the fall, basketball in the winter, and baseball in the spring and summer. So it was, you know, and then finally going to high school and having a break from all that other stuff. I guess, you know, being basketball, being big time sport. It was all year round for me, and that's when it kind of fell in love.
So at 14, you kind of fell in love with the game. How about you, Fitz?
12, 13, playing middle school basketball. But, I mean, basketball wasn't even my thing at first. My dad played for the Orioles, so he was really
I
big.
think you did tell me. So he wanted you to play baseball. But tell the people, you're sitting down, so you even look tall sitting down. But tell them how tall you are.
I'm only 6'5".
I'm 5'5", okay? And he said he's only 6'5". I know, I get it, because you're not over 7 feet and all that.
But you gotta understand, like, when we see our kids that we coach, 6'8", 6'9" at the age of 16 and 17 years old.
But look, I'm getting ready to take it all the way back. But look at Mo Cheeks. That's the first person that I thought about. He's not that tall. Then you go Allen Iverson. How tall is he?
6 feet.
6 feet.
And we're not going to talk about Spud Webb and all of that. You know, Muggsy Bowl. You know, exactly, from Baltimore. So there are a lot of people, and even my boy on the Lakers, Derek Fisher.
6'2" though.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, but that's short.
Small,
when
yes.
you see him,
He's
like if you
normal.
saw him standing next to me, you would say that's a tall guy.
Right.
But when you see him on the court, he looks short. But in real life, he's tall.
But they had something exceptional.
Right.
That's what makes.
And that's what I wanted,
about.
and that's exactly what I wanted you to say, because people think, just like you have some women girls that want to model, they think you have to be a certain height, you have to do this. But if you have it,
Right.
then there are exceptions and there are barriers
Yeah.
that you can kind of break to get in there.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I think Fitz hit it right on the head. It's that it thing that, you know, that comes around, you know, not very often, that makes that takes somebody to the next level.
Yeah.
That's why you have to keep kids grounded nowadays. Like, I'm not your friend.
Right.
I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear.
Right.
I'm going to tell you what you need to hear.
Right.
Because the world is cruel.
Right.
If I don't tell you, somebody else will, but they might not tell you and have your back the way that I might have your back. Because I'm doing it out of love and care, not because of anything I want from you, but it's what's best for you.
And you've seen the other side.
And you've seen the other side of it.
And that's what the kids don't realize.
That you
It's
know
tough.
what road they can go down or what's out there for them. So basketball also is a way to keep boys off the street, to keep their minds, you know, steady. Not, you know, they say idle minds the devil's workshop, and I've always was taught, even by my mother, and you have to keep children busy. You got to find out what they love,
Right.
and kind of nurture that and keep them busy. Because every kid that loves basketball doesn't necessarily want to go to the NBA.
No.
Do you find
it's
that?
It's a tool.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a tool, like Coach Doug said, like, college is $250,000 a year.
Whew.
I mean, that's the least that we're talking, depending on where you want to go to school at. Like,
I would have never gone to college. Like if I had to pay my parents, never.
Right, and then like they said, like that's why it's good to have, like, you asked a good question earlier about like our Carmelo Anthony's, the Victor Oladipo's. Like, do they just give their money, or do they come back and actually be a part of their program? That's why it's good that we have these programs where Carmelo Anthony might come in the gym sometime and work out with the kids, talk to them. Like, we was in Vegas, he was out there with the kids, you know, took them out to eat.
That's awesome.
Showed them and told them, like, this didn't always happen like this. He had to work to get the way it was at. Like even.
So you remember I told you where you were telling me, and I want you to share. I didn't mean to cut you off, but that made me like Carmelo Anthony even more.
Right.
But after you finish saying what you're saying, can you go into some of the stuff that he's done, and I know you said his manager has done for the kids.
Oh, his manager is Bay Frazier. Like, I mean, this summer alone, our manager, which was Bay Frazier, and another guy named Donald Duncan, who was really involved with the team, they was always at practice. They was always made sure the kids had everything they needed. I mean, a lot of programs can't say that they had to pay for anything. Like, we was well taken care of.
That's awesome.
We didn't, like, no offense to anybody program anything, but we didn't stay at your Motel 6s. We didn't have to worry about how we were getting.
And there's
there.
nothing wrong with those of you that stay at Motel
Right.
6. They keep the light on for you, so it's all good. Shout out to Motel 6. But no, I get it. But
I mean, they giving
he
these
stayed. He
kids-
had the kids stay where he might stay, not
Exactly.
just like I'm gonna stay. Let's say at the Ritz Carlton. I'm gonna put you guys in the Roach Motel.
Exactly.
Right.
And I mean, like, and I'm pretty sure it's the same for Takeover. Like, they made these kids get an opportunity to see what this life is really about.
That's wonderful.
You earn these things. Like, this is not something that's given. Like, we probably had one of our best years in the program with our 1600 this year. I mean, we might have took a loss to Takeover down in there. But it was a high level game. If you came to that game,
So your teams played each other.
We did.
yeah, we had an event.
And
where
you
we
won.
played.
Your team won.
Yeah, we were the better team that day.
Oh, that day. Okay.
But in all
I
honesty,
like
Fitz
it.
and those guys, they have their 16 and under team was, you know, one of the better teams that we played all summer, and you know, neither one of us had the success that we wanted because you know, we played to play in Peach Jam, which is the Nike NCAA tournament, and we both came up short in that event. A couple points from qualifying for that. But, you know, it's the kids got to see every game counted. And I know I've seen, you know, Melo's team where Carmelo actually sits on the bench and encourages the kids, things like that. And Victor Oladipo with the Orlando Magic.
Really involved. Like,
yeah, he does.
See them, you might walk in the gym
and they're
playing against the kids.
Right.
That's awesome. And they buy their shoes. Remember I told you I put my order. That's what I mean. I meant they, meaning Carmelo and his crew buys the kids' shoes. Remember I put my order in for some shoes. I was like, they're passing out shoes. But they pay for the shoes. The kids don't have to pay for the shoes. They don't have to pay for the hotels, the trips. Let's just say to Vegas.
Right.
They pay for food?
I mean, they bring money, you know, like, because we eat, you know, like more than once a day. So you want to tell kids, you always want to have money, but for what we do as coaches, if you don't have it, we're not going to watch a kid.
That's all right. Without. That's what I'm talking about. So y'all about to make me cry.
We're going to always be there for the kids.
That's
but, you tell them just bring money.
Yeah.
You don't have to pay. We don't make them charge registration fees.
That's what I was going to. That's wonderful.
And so.
That's really wonderful.
I mean, it's a blessing to be a part of something like that because it gives you something to look forward to. Like, if this is what you really want out of life, you got to put the work in. Like, this is not something that just happened.
Well,
like,
our guy, Victor, you know.
Yeah, well, he didn't want Carmelo. He didn't want Carmelo to be shot.
He doesn't have the $100 million contract that Carmelo has. So at Takeover, we do charge a registration fee.
Okay.
For each kid from.
How much is the registration?
$100.
Okay.
And then we do that to make the parents feel like they're invested.
Yes.
Exactly. Because you know.
But their program way bigger than ours too, though.
Yeah.
Right. And so, but Fitz knows this because he's had it and I've had it this year that kids jump for parents encourage the kid that light isn't shining bright enough for you at Team Takeover. So, you know, you can go to Team Melo and get a bigger light or vice versa. And it goes from Maine to Florida.
But isn't that sending the wrong message, you think?
Personally, I think it doesn't teach, you know, we're big in teaching. We're big in teaching our kids start what you finish.
That's right.
You know, or finish what you start. I'm sorry. And if you want to leave at the end of the season, I think it's best that these kids
so they're
leave.
doing it in the middle of the season?
Whenever.
Middle of the tournament.
Yeah. But that's showing that you can't handle real life, and that's not the message of what you guys are trying to instill and teach. Like, it doesn't – to me, this is just my take, if you're trying your best and you're doing it and you're learning – you don't necessarily, two coaches might be like, but you don't necessarily have to win every game. And I guess some kids, that's just, of course, they want to win, but they have to learn when they lose, then what? Like, what happens?
I don't think it's about winning and losing, though.
No.
They just want them to go over to get more stuff?
They want them on the floor the whole game.
So time.
They don't care about winning or losing.
Oh, well, that's true. They do want that game time.
If Coach K is sitting there, whether your kid can play at Duke or not, the parent feel like my son should be playing.
Oh yeah,
you know, and it's not.
Some parents aren't realistic.
Exactly.
And like we try to instill in our kids is, a coach wants winners. I don't care. You can go out here and score 40 all you want, but if you're losing, that 40 is irrelevant. Like, why not be part of something where, oh man, we made it to the Final Four. I might average 4 or 5 points, but I'm on this winning team. And a coach like Coach Doug said, when we sit there and watch, you're gonna see how good a kid really is. It doesn't matter. I don't need you to get 30 for me.
Yeah.
What are you doing to make your team win? Are you a good team player? Like, my biggest thing is when I tell my kids, you never know who's sitting in the stands watching you. It could be your mother and father. It could be Coach K. It could be anybody. And then, like, the biggest thing, like, even with, like you talk about marketing, the biggest sales pitch nowadays is word of mouth. If I tell Coach Doug, like, man, this kid, I don't think you want to deal with him, then he might tell somebody else now, and this kid has a bad rep because he's not making himself a team player, and that's what it's about.
See, and that's the problem. So you guys teach that it's not about that one person. You can't pass to yourself.
No,
you can't. You know what I mean? You can't win games by yourself.
And I tell the parents too, if you want, basketball is not an individual sport. Right. If you want an individual sport, you should play golf or tennis.
Right, and but that's the true definition of there's no high-end team.
Right, yeah,
like it truly is. I just want to tell the people how this show came about. Doug was scheduled for this show for what, over a month?
Yeah,
maybe
like
even more than that. Scheduled for this show, basketball show. I wanted to do a basketball show. I love basketball. I used to be a manager on the college team for the guys, at the college level, keeping the score, keeping the book. So I've always loved basketball. And like I said, when I first met Doug, that's what he was talking about. So I knew that I wanted to do a basketball show, and the first person that I thought about was Doug. And I scheduled that, and it was fine. And then how long ago did we talk? Was that less than a month? It was...
about a month and a half ago.
Well, then you were even longer.
Right.
And he came into my office. We were handling business, doing other things. Then we got into the topic of basketball. His face lit up. He sat down. We started talking about it. And I was like, hey, I'm having this show. I have this coach on here. It's really all about the kids. He coaches in the AAU. And Fitz was saying, I coach in AAU too. So he started telling me about his team and Carmelo and all the great things that they were doing. And then he finally asked, he said, well, what's the guy's name? And I said, Doug Martin. He was like, oh, I know him. So I thought it was so weird. I'm doing this individual show, and they end up knowing each other through basketball. So how cool is that? I couldn't have planned it.
Yeah, it's a small, the basketball community seems large to the people that it's not within, but it's it's very small. You can actually reach out and touch, almost anybody within the basketball community.
So when I believe that when I mentioned Doug's name to you, you were like, oh, I know him, Team Takeover. But you also said something. I don't know if you remember. You were saying that he was a good coach, and you can see him coaching.
Thank you.
Like on a higher level.
Right.
Why do you think that?
If you watch his team play, you could see like the discipline, the structure, how he got his kids motivated. Like, it's not just about being a coach, but motivating those kids. Like, yeah, sometimes, excuse my French, you gotta get in their ass to make them play hard.
Yeah.
Like, he don't allow them to get away with anything. Right. If you don't want to play, come sit next to me.
Yeah.
See,
I appreciate that.
And I think I just love black men getting along and stuff. Like, I think that's awesome. It's support. It's no hate. Right. You're on different teams. You play one another. Your team got a little more money than his. It could be all kind of conflict. You got Carmelo, playing with buying sneakers and trips around, the country. But for you to say that, I thought that was great. That showed a lot on your part just by doing that. Like, he said it without a skipping, in his voice. He just said that, oh, yeah, I know his team. And he was, like, pumped for you. So I think that's really awesome. You said you've been coaching 7 to 8 years. Yeah. How long have you been coaching AAU?
AAU about 5 or 6.
Okay, that's still a long time. Yeah. And I know a little bit about your backgrounds, but I want to talk about college level. Both of you guys played college level. Mm-hmm. Doug, where did you tell him where you went? Where you went to college? And
I played at NAIA school in Western Wisconsin.
Okay, position?
Point guard.
Okay. Oh well, yeah. Short, right? I forgot.
5'10" and a half.
Okay, and a half. Put that half in there.
5'10" barefoot, 5'10" and a half with shoes on.
Okay. But not bought by Carmelo.
No, Carmelo doesn't buy me shoes.
So you played on college for all 4 years?
All 4 years.
Did you get a scholarship?
I did.
Athletic?
No.
Athletic for basketball?
For basketball, yeah.
Wonderful. And Fitz?
It's crazy. I grew up playing against Carmelo all my life. We grew up together.
Okay. So you knew him before?
Yeah, before
Oh, okay.
And
in case you guys don't know, Carmelo Anthony is from Baltimore. A lot of people don't know that.
Right. I played at a Division III school,
okay.
Stevenson University.
Okay. Shout out to Stevenson,
Owings Mills, back then.
Owings Mills, Maryland.
Yeah. But I was the first All-American there. I amassed like 2,500 points and 1,500 rebounds. But I tell kids, like, if I played at a Division III school, a lot of kids have these hopes of saying I played a Division I. I was like, I hope y'all know what it takes to get there. Yeah. And I can tell you what it takes because I've been around it all my life.
Yeah.
And I had a dad who played in the pros, and he didn't let me breathe the wrong way without telling me. Like, I didn't have an athletic scholarship, but I had academic money and other grants and stuff where I went to school for free, so it's possible.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. It's possible, but...
So both of you went to school for free?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, I'm back in college, and my daughter's in college, and I'm paying. So I'll say, wow. You know what I mean? Like, for free.
Yeah.
That's so what position did you play?
I was a forward.
Okay. So you having a professional athlete as a dad, how was that as a Orioles player?
Tough.
I went to Orioles game
Hard.
last weekend, actually.
Really hard. I mean, because he knew what it take to get to that level. And any little thing that he might seem like, nope, that's not going to cut it. I mean, the cuss outs after the game, during the game. It was, I mean, like, but it helped prepare me for not just basketball, but life in general.
And that's what I was going to say. To me, when you play a sport, especially a team sport, it teaches you so much about life. You guys teach your kids life lessons. Yep. Do you teach them based around basketball?
Well, I think you use whatever vehicle or mechanism that's appropriate at the time.
Yeah.
You know, you can't always use basketball stats when the English grade isn't what it's supposed to be for the kids. But I mean, I think for both of us, you use real life situations, whether it's a kid that you had last year, 5 years ago, or if you were that kid X amount of years ago. I think we all have a backdrop where we can tell a kid, you know, the path that you're on is the right path, or the path that you're on is going to lead you to some trouble. And you know, I think the kids value that because, you know, how real we are with them, you know, all the time. So like with my team, I make a point of every road trip sitting down with them. And a lot of coaches don't do this, but I make a point of sitting down with them, eating meals with them, telling them about me, learning about them, and even, you know, rides to certain tournaments. You can get a kid in your car for 3 hours, and you know, and they're trapped.
Right.
So in my car, it's no headphones.
Right.
When you're riding with me,
Right.
and, you know, we just talk about different things. Yeah, we talk about different things, and it's amazing the minds that these kids have that you don't see in the 2 hours that they're in the game.
Right. So you said you tell them about you. Did you tell them you played overseas?
I never do.
All right. So let's talk about that now. You played overseas.